Hi everyone, welcome to Adventures with Raven and Rowley. I'm Raven and this is Rowley. We're pretty much finished converting our 6x12 cargo trailer into a tiny home. Minor stuff left like this trim, just odds and ends things, and that silver up, wait a minute, where is it? The silver up here has to be finished, just stuff. And then I got to wash down all the furniture. Anyway, minor stuff left. We're living full-time in this cargo trailer now. For the past 5 years, we lived in an RV full-time. It was in a Class A and then into a fifth wheel. Last week, I talked about batteries, solar controllers, solar panels, because I ran out of power the week before, and it annoyed the heck out of me. Okay, you can lay down if you want to. Okay. This week, yeah, there you go. This week, I will review a few of off-grid appliances that I feel are necessary for my comfort and maybe for you to consider for your comfort, okay? After all, I'm 78 years old, and I appreciate creature comforts, If you're curious, please join us on this journey and continue to watch. Last week I had a power problem to fix, so I talked about batteries and solar controllers and solar panels and frustrations and successes. This week I'm going to talk about comfort. People have been very concerned that I, a 78-year-old woman, should have to live in the desert. I agree, but this is my choice to save money to acquire a better living situation. So let me tell you a story. I once took care of a man. For 9 years I took care of this man. He lived in my house 24/7. But he received twice as much money in Social Security than I did, than I do now even. He never worked a day in his life. My income is based on how much I worked. I'm a 78-year-old woman. If you know anything of history, you know women of my age did not own anything. We could not own land, could not buy a house by ourselves. We worked for pin money, even though everyone knew, including the employers, that we were working in order to survive. So we got paid less, and we still get paid less. Okay. Therefore, our Social Security is less. So I took care of this man for 9 years who made twice as much as I did and had never worked a day in his life. I believe that we should have a living wage. I think that retirement wage should also be a living wage. After all, Social Security is not an entitlement. You paid into that. I found that I need certain comforts past the very necessary things like a good bed, someplace warm or cool or comfortable and safe, water, food, clothing, that kind of thing. So this is a video review of the appliances that I found that make life for me more comfortable. Take, for instance, I'm living in the desert. It was 99 degrees a couple of days ago in the middle of the afternoon. In the desert, there's no trees to hide under. Okay, there's no shade. I have the Hessaire MC18M portable evaporative cooler, a swamp cooler. I finally decided to get a swamp cooler, even with all of this fabric in here. This thing is supposed to cool 500 square feet. Well, I'm living in 72 square feet. Okay. I'm also going to be reviewing the Kohree portable refrigerator freezer. It's a 53-quart, 50-liter dual zone, 2 zones. Has a two-zone control, which is really nice. So I could put, I'll talk about that later. Let's start with the 99-degree desert temperatures and 50 degrees in the morning, because the desert is cold at night and warm during the day, to say the least. The Hessaire swamp cooler was recommended to me by a long-time desert boondocker, desert rat, lives out here. I mean, he doesn't stay in one spot, he just lives out in the desert. I didn't listen to him. I mean, why should I listen to somebody who knows what the heck they're doing, right? I didn't listen, so I got me a 𝗏𝗏 swamp cooler because it was $120 less. Then I spent the $200 to get a Hessaire. I keep the 𝗏𝗏 as a backup, or maybe as a gift to someone who needs it more than me, It did not work for me in 99-degree desert heat in a tin can. Okay. The Hessaire did. Please note, a swamp cooler works in low humidity. We have 6%, sometimes 16% humidity out here in the desert. Doesn't rain very often. Doesn't get moist or damp or anything like that, except you do from the sweating, If you've got high humidity, then get an air conditioner or a dehumidifier and a fan, because a swamp cooler isn't going to work for you, okay? Because what it does is adds more moisture to the air, okay? I found the best way for me to use the swamp cooler, is to close the doors and open the windows and turn it on, Because I open the back doors and the windows and the people door, I get a breeze through here most times. So I don't have to turn on the swamp cooler all day long. It's not like, you do with an air conditioner, turn it on in the morning and keep it on all of 24/7. I don't have to do that, because I have so much airflow going through here. And it gets really hot around, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 o'clock. And that's usually when I turn it on. And then I turn it off and open the doors again, because the breeze picks up again, and it's cool enough. Anyway, I turn it on high at first, just to cool the room down a little bit. And then I turn it down to low. There's only 2 settings. And I turn it down to low to maintain the cool. It gets to the point, it does get to the point where I either need to shut it off or put on a sweater, because it gets cold in here. It's like an air conditioner in a room that is just a little bit too cool, just slightly too cold. You don't really know what to do about it. Should you turn it off? Should you put on a sweater? But it's bothering you. You got to think about it, that kind of thing. A boondocking friend said that she bought the Hessaire because it moisturizes the air. It softens her skin and her dog's fur. She's got a Class A with an air conditioner, but she prefers the Hessaire, which is pretty cool, which means to me that it works for her. The downside of a swamp cooler, any swamp cooler, including the Hessaire, is that it requires, well, the Hessaire anyway, requires about 1 gallon of water per hour. I have to go get my water, so therefore I have to plan to have a few hours a day in the Hessaire. When I go get water, I have to plan drinking water for me, drinking water for Rowley, washing water, dishes water, that kind of thing. And then whatever it requires to keep cool. Okay, so the refrigerator freezer. This is a kind of funny, strange coincidence thing. Okay. I planned on using my solar oven, my propane stove, and freeze-dried dinners as my food source, because I couldn't keep leftovers. I got a 540-watt King solar charger was gifted to me, and I said, ooh, I could get a small refrigerator or freezer, because when they're that small, you get a refrigerator or freezer. I ended up with a large refrigerator freezer. What are you doing? Where are you going? Okay, you want to get off my lap? You want to go sit on the chair? Yeah? Okay, well, you can stay here. It's okay. Okay. Meanwhile, one of the guys in the park gave me a small solar controller. So I had the 𝗥𝗃𝗲 and I had the King solar charger, and this guy gives me a solar controller. And I also already had a 100-watt solar panel, foldable solar panel, in order to charge the 𝗥𝗃𝗲 and the King, and a 60-watt solar panel. Both of those are foldable. Both of those were for those two appliances. I had no plans of setting up my own solar system, but the refrigerator freezer necessitated more power. I thought that I could run the refrigerator freezer, even the large one, on those two solar chargers, but it didn't work out. It required more power. It kept going off at night, and I couldn't maintain the temperatures during the day. And then, as you know, I was gifted a battle-born battery. And then, what you don't know, is that I was gifted another 100-watt solar panel. So, I ended up with 200 watts of solar panels dedicated, along with two batteries, the battle-born battery and the battery that I bought because I figured I needed more power for the refrigerator. So I've got two batteries and 200 watts of solar. So the refrigerator maintains its temperature during the day and in the evening and never shuts off, which is a good thing, you know. So this is my refrigerator freezer. This is the sound of the refrigerator freezer with the compressor on. It's a Kohree, Kohree. It has two zones. It's a dual zone refrigerator freezer. It freezes on either side, freezes on both sides, refrigerates on either side, or refrigerates on both sides, whichever your choice is. As far as I can tell, there are no downsides to this unit at all. It works beautifully. It was affordable, and it's large enough and everything. Looking around the room, I've noticed I've got to mention the 𝗏𝒃𝒃 water filter. This is my 𝗏𝒃𝒃. Better decoration needs to be doing. Please ignore the cookie cans. It has 1.5 gallon capacity. It filters 2.75 gallons per hour, and the filter lasts for 10 years. It removes 200 plus contaminants from the water. I run all my drinking water, bathing and dishwashing water through the 𝗏𝒃𝒃. There have been instances where there has been a boiled water order in the town, and I didn't have to because I could just run it through the 𝗏𝒃𝒃. Not knowing the quality of your water, I feel that the 𝗏𝒃𝒃 is justified as a necessity. The downside, of course, of a 𝗏𝒃𝒃 is the initial expense, but I feel that it's worth every penny, and it pays for itself if you were buying bottled water. just the gallons, and not even, you know, the 20-ounce things or whatever of water. If you're buying a gallon of water a day at a quarter a gallon, it'll pay for itself in a few years, long before you have to go out and buy another filter. Other stuff I would recommend, though, that you have for your own comfort is your own solar system. I mean, I found, I bought a 𝗥𝗃𝗲 to begin with. I was gifted a King solar charger, but they were all-in-one units, you know, and it comes out actually cheaper in the long run, with more power available, if you create your own solar system, as opposed to buying a 𝗥𝗃𝗲 or a King or anything like that, any kind of all-in-one system. Although the all-in-one systems are terrific, let me tell you. They're easy to handle, you can carry them around, you know. I mean, what are you going to do if you got 5 batteries in your system, you know? You can't take it anywhere. It's more customizable to your needs if you build your own system. But that's if you've got a permanent kind of place to stay, okay? You can do it a little at a time and build it up, you know. But the 𝗥𝗃𝗲 and the King are both an excellent choice. Another necessity I believe you should have is at least 2 methods to cook. I've got propane, a solar cooker, and if necessary, I could use a fire pit, you know. And cookware, you know, to cook on all types of things. I use cast iron, but I use small cast iron. It's only me, so I get the smallest I can get. I also use stainless steel, because you can cook over a fire pit, you can use it in a solar oven, and you can stick it on a gas stove or an electric stove, actually. And in the case of cast iron, you buy it once per generation, you know. And then another necessity, the third necessity, is water. You can live for days, no matter how thin you are, weeks, without food. But you can only live 3 days, maybe, without water, okay? So you should have some method of water storage. I use gallon jugs because that's what I can lift, you know. I can handle gallon jugs. I can pick them up and fill up the Berkey. I can, you know. So, you know, I got to bend down a lot to fill them up, but that's okay. I also have a 6-gallon jug, but it's hard to handle. In general, when I fill up the 6-gallon jug, I put the empty jug in the car. I fill it up with the hose in the car, you know, so sometimes the end of the car gets a little wet. And then I park, you know, right across from where it's got to go in order to take it out of the car, because it's heavy. And I also have a 16-gallon barrel that was gifted to me. I haven't used it yet, but I don't want to get rid of it. I think that it is I don't have a place to put it inside of the cargo trailer. It's too tall to fit in there, and I don't really have space for it. And then again, it's very heavy. But at the same time, I don't really want to get rid of it. And I don't, you know, I think that I would have a use for it in a permanent place in the future. So I'm just going to hold on to it. And, you know, even so, water can be kept up to 6 months. So if you're living in the city or someplace else, stock up on water. You don't know when the system is going to go down, you know, or whatever, get contaminated because of a storm or whatever. And you can keep it for 6 months and still be drinkable and still be usable, okay? So, to my friends and family, okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. I'm loving it out here. I sleep like a log, you know. I'm feeling good. I feel safe. Can you believe? I feel safe. For some reason, I feel safer out here than I did in the park. I could do this forever, okay? I have one question, though. Maybe you can help me with this. I'm in Nevada, in southern Nevada. Where next? You know, where to go next? I keep looking. I can't go yet, but soon. The Rowley report. Rowley received a cooling mat for when I don't turn on the Hessaire, in case he decided he gets a little bit too hot. You know, so I would lay it down on the floor or on the rug or whatever outside in the shade so that he could cool down, even in the house. So far, he doesn't want to lay on it. He doesn't want to do anything with it, you know. Oh, well. I'll keep it damp for him anyway, you know. Who knows, maybe one day soon he'll do that. He'll lay on it, I've even laid it across his back, which he likes, but he won't lay on it. What can you do? You know, it's a case of lead a dog to water. Okay? Anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks for your support. See you next Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Take care of you and yours, and blessed be.